What do you do when you're not advancing in your game as quickly as you'd like to? We're going to explore that question a little bit this week and just talk about general updates on where I'm at with my game, Flutter Plane. Stick around. Let's get into it. Welcome back to Neon Dream Games, everybody. This week, let's back it up just a tad. I haven't really done a devlog update for the last couple of weeks. I've kind of been trying to do these more game dev topic videos. And part of the reason for that is because I just haven't really had time to work on my game. I've talked about this in the past. I have a part-time job that I work outside of the house, and I essentially have my main business that brings me income, which really equates to sort of a part-time job, at least for now. I'm working to build that up so that hopefully in the future I can have more time to work on game dev and everything else that I would like to do. But this is where we're at right now. And last time I think we talked, I was starting to work on the menu system and I barely gotten a chance to work on it. But I did make a little progress and we will talk about that soon. And I will show you the progress that I made. But I want to go back to the question, what do you do when you're not making the progress you want to in your game? Well, I think the quick answer or the simple answer is you just keep working at it when you can. I mean, what's the alternative? Just to stop? I mean, that is an option. You can just stop. And I have done that in the past, but I'm trying to make this game. I'm trying to get it done. And it's not even a big game, but when you have only sometimes it feels like a couple hours a week to even put into it, advancement is slow. So here we are. This is where I'm at. I was thinking today, what do I want to do with this game? What do I want to do with this whole series, this whole 10 game series, like 10 game challenge series where I recreate old games in my own way? Well, I think what I came to decide today is that I'm putting in this time and this effort, of which I don't have a lot, but I think I'm going to just release all these games on Steam. I'm making it my own thing. I don't know what I'm going to charge for it yet, but it's a game and I'm putting the time and effort into making menu systems and everything to make it a complete game. Why throw it on itch.io for free when I could make money? That's the whole point of this. I am trying to become a full-time commercial indie game developer. So why not? So that's going to be my goal going forward. I am going to create a Steam page. Who knows when? Hopefully soon. I don't think I have a ton of stuff left to do in this game, but at the same time, if I have the mentality that I will release it on Steam, I may do a few further tweaks to it, but mostly I just want to put it all together in a nice, neat package. So that leads me today into what have I accomplished in this game in the last couple 2-3 weeks. And as I said, not much, but I am kind of impressed by what I did finally get done. I started implementing some sound. So there's a soundtrack to the game. So far, just one song, and that might just be what it is. I added a little bit of sound design as far as there's some paper crumpling sounds and wind sounds. The wind really adds to the ambiance to the game. I still need to add some more sound effects to some of the actions, like the kind of the bouncing or fluttering action you take with the plane. Haven't done that yet, but the one menu system I did create was the option menu, and boy, did that take several hours of back and forth trying to troubleshoot bugs with AI because I had no idea what I was doing or what would be causing these bugs. And that's an interesting thing, working with AI. I actually am really enjoying working with AI. I don't think I'll ever change that. It's not perfect. It is not perfect at all. And sometimes it's infuriating because it could just tell you the answer to your problems, but it's like I have to like work with it for a while, asking it questions, troubleshooting, thinking of things where it's like, oh, the solution was actually pretty simple, but it was telling me the wrong things to do until I finally came to the conclusion of, hey, what about this? And then it's like, oh, you're right. That is the correct way to do it. Now, you might say, well, why use AI at all? Because you sort of had to figure it out your own self. Well, the thing about AI is it helps me to go down paths and ask myself questions and look at my code and go, okay, that didn't work. Why didn't that work? What are we missing here? It's just somebody to talk to, basically, bounce ideas off of, and also they help me code. Anyways, I'm going to jump into the game. I'm just going to show you what I did. The music is going to come on right away, but I'm going to share my screen here. Okay, what can I tell you about what I've done here? Well, I'm just going to show you. So let's just start at the main title screen. You're going to hear audio for the first time and sort of my main theme, which I really like. You guys might not, but I like it. It's an AI song that I created and tweaked a little bit afterwards. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the game start. You're going to hear the song. I'll let you watch the opening animation for the title screen, and then I'm going to go into the options menu, and then I'm going to, in there, I have volume controls that all work now. So I'm going to turn the volume down. So it's going to be a little noisy, but here we go. There it is, opening animation. My little cursor comes into play. I can hit up and down to go through this. The mouse also can take over and select something. So we select options. Love that. That little back to the main crumples options. I love that. Love it. Okay, let's turn the music down. So there you can see the music down. We have ambient volume, which is the wind. So we can mess with that. Currently, I don't have sound effects other than I think the crumpling of the paper. So if that's correct, let's turn down the wind. Let's turn everything off. So if I go back to the main menu here, there shouldn't be any sound for the paper crumpling. And if we turn that back up, paper crumpling comes back. I love that. So this whole menu system is exactly what I wanted. I may end up changing this yellow. I'm not sure I love this yellow for highlighting the text, but several things are going on here. So I had to create this background, this animated piece of paper. I just thought that would be kind of cool to have this, Beavis and Butthead style animated paper in the background. That's my main menu sort of thing. Took me a while to figure out these sliding bars. I made custom graphics for those. I had to figure out how to highlight all this text and be able to go scroll up and down, and I could do this also with the keyboard. So I can hit up and down through the keyboard. We can change that with the keyboard as well. Music comes back in and goes back out. I'm gonna bring that wind back in. The wind, I like that wind. I'll let it come in subtly there. Yeah, and then back to the main menu. So here, I don't have the play menu yet. I'm going to use the same background. So that's the elements there. The paper is its own element. That's my menu background. I'm going to use that for all the menus in my game. If you notice, it's an overlay for the whole thing, and you'll see the screen, even though, or this whole animated main title screen, it'll have a dimming. It dims when the menu comes in and goes back to normal. So the options menu itself is its own overlaid piece on top of the paper background. And I had to figure out how to link all that stuff together. So let's go back to the main menu and we'll exit. That works. And just take a look at what I have done over here. So the main title is its own thing. Like that's the main title screen. That's where we're going to probably start the game. Then from there, we have the menu manager, and that's its own node. So we go over to the menu manager scene, and in here you can see we have the background tint. We have the menu background. So again, that's another layer in here. That's another scene. The menu background basically just handles that paper. It handles the sounds that the paper of unfolding and folding, and it handles the animations of opening and closing it. You can see some of my code here. It's pretty simple. So this is the menu background. I have to disable different menu inputs here. There's a lot to talk about here. I don't think I'll go super into it, but I hide. So let's go to the menu manager. This I think will help. Or yeah, this was the menu manager code, right? Yes. Okay. I'm trying to piece this all together here. The menu manager code basically is what manages all the menus. So I currently have the play and options menu. I will have a pause menu as well. That's all over here. We have the play menu, we have the options menu, and the pause menu. But Currently, I've really only fleshed out the options menu. If one of the menus is active, the other ones become inactive. That's sort of with the hiding the menus and everything. That was one of the things that I was having a really hard time with, because when the menu is overlaid over the title screen, which is also its own menu on its own, I was having issues where I was clicking the options, but it was also clicking the main menu. And I thought just hiding things, like, so I have a lot of this visible is true or not true and everything. I thought hiding them, so like here, like hide menus, hide all menus, it turns everything to false. I thought if I did that, that disabled everything, like disabled input and whatever. It does not disable input. And that was what took me forever to figure out, and that solved almost all my problems. Now we open up the options menu. This is a lot of stuff in the options menu just to run all that stuff with the volume sliders and everything. I found out I had to disable the main title menu while the options is open. So I have this whole new enabling and disabling depending on which menu is active. We've got the different inputs on what they do, navigating up, down, if the sliders are focused or not. It's all about the highlighting and everything. I had to work on mouse and keyboard functions because I wanted to be able to control it with both. So I talked a bit about that in a previous video. I had to tweak that a little bit further to make sure that all of that worked properly. Yeah, we've got the highlight color of yellow. I'm probably gonna end up changing that in the end. I don't know if I like the yellow anymore. I'm thinking maybe a bluish color might look a little bit better. Let's see. So yeah, we've got the volumes. I'm not going to get into all that. I had AI help me code most of this. I did watch a video about it, and it matched up with the video I watched. So I was like, why am I going to sit here and code all this when I can just have AI do it? Generally, I understand what it's doing. That's good enough for me. Yeah. So that is the main options thing. We go back to the main title code. This is where we have like the input disabled stuff. I had to figure all that out. Disabling all the inputs when the other menus are opened. Yeah, input disabled, stop input. I don't know, these are functions somewhere I think I put in here. Yeah, it's all the set process stuff. I had to look all that up. Anyways, this is probably really nerdy and whatever and boring. I'm just trying to give you guys an update on what I've done. I guess for the audio, I set up the different audio buses here. You have your master, which is the default. Then I made a music, sound effects, and ambient. And yeah, that's what you saw hooked up to the sliders. And that's about it. Next, I want to work on the play button or play option on the title screen. So that will lead you into sort of a level selection and everything to get you into playing the game. And then once I get through that, I will work on the pause menu so that you can pause there. And then I realized later I'm going to need a game over menu or pop-up, a win pop-up, and what to do next. So there's still quite a bit of things I actually need to do to this game. And that's sort of what led me into, I think I'm just going to release it on Steam. So I'm going to try and create a Steam page. I had already previously, for my Fruits versus Veggies game I was working on, I had purchased a Steam game slot or whatever you call it on Steamworks. So I just have it sitting there, and I was like, you know what? I should just change that, make it into Flutter Plane. And, I don't know exactly what I'm thinking yet for charging or whatever, but hopefully I'll get that set up soon. My goal would at least be within the next month, because I would like to start seeing if I can get some wish lists and whatever. I still plan to release this hopefully sooner than later. I'm not expecting a big financial boon from it, but I think it would be fun to release something commercially. So that's kind of where we're at. This video is already longer than I wanted it to be. So make sure you like and subscribe. Ask me any questions or anything. You got any video ideas? Love to hear that in the comments. But otherwise, I will see you guys next time. Keep YouTubing it up.
Thanks for checking out Neon Dream Games channel. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell button so you can stay up to date on all the latest videos we have to offer. Don't forget to leave a comment to suggest what kind of videos you'd like to see more of in the future. See you in the next video.